Can anybody summarize? The class leader, help us to summarize what we did last time. Even if it's a word, something that we said in the class, no problem. Just say something, just for me to know that we are in that class, spiritually and physically. No, no. Hmm. So let me just recap on my own. Let me just recap on my own. What we said is that was in the first class, right? Where I described what Bootstrap is, that it is a framework, right? A library that is used for creating website. No. So a library that is used for creating websites, right? Without writing CSS code and JavaScript what function from the scratch, right? It means that it is a platform where so many code have been pre-written for you as a developer. And I said, all you need to do is to install it in your project, which I taught us in the last class, right? How to install it in your project. So let's use the simple word, how to connect it, right? How to connect it to your website, to the project you are handling, so that it can give us responsiveness, right? In order to make your website responsive. That is the whole essence of Bootstrap, right? Good. Now, we are looking at Bootstrap grid system. After installation of Bootstrap, the next thing you are to learn is what? Bootstrap grid system. So let's quickly look at what is Bootstrap grid system. What is Bootstrap grid system? Right. The Bootstrap grid system is a powerful tool. The Bootstrap grid system is a powerful tool for creating responsive. It's a powerful tool for creating responsive and flexible layouts. I want us to underline the word responsive and flexible layouts because these are the keywords that actually explain the essence of the grid system. Are you with me? Paragraph. It's based on a 12 columns. It is based on a 12 column grid. I am going to expatiate in a moment what that statement 12 column means. Command, which means that, I'm already explaining it, which means that the screen is divided into 12 equal columns, which means the screen is divided into what? 12 equal columns. Are you with me? Now, let me go to, this is what we are saying actually. I want us to pay attention here. What we are saying is this. We are saying that this is a laptop. This is a laptop. For example, this is a laptop view, laptop size, right? Now we are saying that what we are calling grid line, grid system here, just like this room now. Look at this. This room now, what shape is this? A square or a rectangle? Okay, like the shape I have drawn on the screen. We are saying that if this is your laptop, from this edge to this edge, how many column, how many vertical spaces can the laptop display? If you are programming based on laptop view, we are saying that Bootstrap can display up to what? 12 what? Equal what? Column in a row. So where you have all these vertical spaces, they are referred to as what? Or it is referred to as row. Now, the whole of this box is one row, right? Inside that box, you are now having how many divisions? 12 of them. So you cannot have more than 12 columns. That is what we are saying. Are we following? Now, I don't know. Let me just see if I can. Now, this can be called 1. This can be called 2. This can be called 3. Down to what? Called what? Called 12. That is what we are saying. So the idea is that on a laptop, you can view all the words, the 12 word column. If you open the page, let's say this is a battles page or service page, where you have here a product image, the name of the product, and some description about what? The product. Another product image, the name of the product. So you can display up to what? 12 words, products and their detail in one row if you are using what? Laptop. Now, this is 1 by what? 12. One row, and what? 12 divisions or 12 columns inside it on laptop. So this is laptop view. This is laptop view. Now, if it is on mobile, if it's going to be on what? Mobile, which is what? Remember, I told us that what? The primary objective of building your website is that mobile first, right? We mentioned that in our last class, that you should always build your responsiveness for mobile phone first, because 95% or 99% of web users uses what? Mobile phones. I've said that before, right? So which means that should not build with this standard. Now, on a mobile phone, if somebody open my website with his own phone, will that phone screen size be able to display all these 12 that your laptop is displaying? The answer is what? No. Now, on a mobile phone, what you will have is this. This is how it will look like on a mobile phone. So this is actually the responsiveness we're talking about. When it's open on laptop, 12 of them will display. When it comes on phone, it will display like this. So this one column now is this one. This other column will come under the first one. This one will come what? Like this. So this is how it's going to display on what? Until you have 12 of them. So in other words, you are saying that on a mobile phone, each column become what? A row. So we are going to have what? We are going to have one row, right? Sorry, one column. One what? Column. By what? By what? One row. It's going to be 1 by 1. Because the whole of this is one column. Sorry, we are going to have one column and what? 12 what? 12 rows. 12 rows. Am I communicating? So what we are saying is that you have to lay out. If you look at that definition, I mentioned those words I asked you to underline. Where I mentioned what? Flexible, right? Responsive and what? Flexible layout. So the layout is this structure that I'm explaining. Now, if you don't plan this layout,
it cannot enhance responsiveness. That is what we are saying. So we are going for implementation now. Yes, it can be less than 12. We are going, you see it. So I can say that on a mobile device, look at how we are going to plan the responsiveness. On a laptop, display 12 column in one row. On a tablet is just like all this mini computer, or this laptop, this small one that look like iPad, display 3. So what you will now be doing is this. This is the calculation behind it. Since they say what? The highest is 12, right? If you want to display 3 per row, you will now divide it by what? By 4, right? That will give you equals to what? Equals to 3. If I want to display 4 per row, I will divide it by what? By what? By 3, right? Good. So that is the logic behind it. I just want to give all this background. Definitely you understand it. So let's continue. Let's continue. Here, let's look at some key components, right? Key component of Bootstrap grid system. Key component of Bootstrap grid system. Keyword, component of Bootstrap grid system. So let's quickly talk about them. Of BS grid system. Now, when we say components, what we're talking about is what makes it up, right? What makes this particular grid system? Number one, we have column. Number one, we have column. Sorry, container. We have container. Number one, we have container. So let's define the container. The container is the outermost element. The container is the outermost what? Elements. The container is the outermost element that wraps the grid. That wraps the grid. Full stop. It is usually a div. It is usually a div with a class. Usually a div with a class. Usually a div with a class container. With the class container. So now, if you look at that diagram that I created the other time, I drew what? A box, right? Inside that box, I was now creating column inside, right? Now, that first box is the container. Are you with me? And it is represented with what? A div. So what we are saying is this. Let me go to the coding page now. I hope I can remember. I think it was in the class that we installed this now. Good. So now let me install that folder and start demonstrating some of this so that you can see the interpretation of this grammar. It's actually very simple to understand. I just want us to get that background first. So let me call in that project, which is BS was BS2. BS2 was one we did online, online connection, right? Okay, so we can actually call any of them, provided I've installed what? My Bootstrap. So if you have not installed your Bootstrap, if you have not added all these tools that we learned in the last class, if you are speaking of this container, it will not work. So I think last time we worked with a white theme, white background, so that we can see it better. Was it light? Light. I think this is better, right? Okay. Now, I want us to do something here. This is what we are saying. Let me remove this button. because we are only using it to confirm if our Bootstrap is active here. So if I want to type div with the class name container, I will simply do something like this as a shortcut. Just say dot container. I think I've explained it before. So if I press enter now, so this is that first box that I created. You know, inside it, I was now creating what? Different what? Column, 12 of them inside, right? So what we are saying is that if I open this now, let me create, let's say, welcome, so that we can see something to display it. Welcome to my class. Welcome to my class. Now, let me check it. Let's check the front end to see how that container is going to render that contents. So you can see that Bootstrap is here. How do I know? If you create ordinary container with ordinary div without putting the class, it will not give you this margin space. Now let's go and try it so that you know that Bootstrap, this class is working. Or if I remove this class now, let me remove this class name and go back to the front end. What did you see? You can see that what? That margin has disappeared. You know, that is what ordinarily we are supposed to use. We're supposed to go to our CSS and say what? We call the class. We now say what? Margin left, right? We will now say maybe 10% or But me adding just container, it means that what? I am working with what? Bootstrap what? Class name. And Bootstrap have already what? I have already added that margin for me. Just using this container as a class name in my div. You see it? Now, so that is the meaning of what? That container as one of what? The Bootstrap what? Remember that we are saying what? Bootstrap what? Component. Now, anytime you are working with Bootstrap grid system, one of the component is what? Container. And I just told you in your notes that what we are calling Bootstrap grid component container is a div with a class name what? Container. Which means what? The first what? Box that is holding other what? Boxes. It's a layout thing. You are trying to lay out, you are trying to structure the website page so that it can be responsive to different devices. I don't know if I'm communicating. So that's the first component. Now let's look at the second one. The second component, which is number 2 of Bootstrap grid system, is row. Row. Let's go back to our notes. I also get the notes. What is row? Right. A row is a horizontal container. A row is what? A horizontal container. A row is a horizontal what? Container that holds one or more columns. A row is a horizontal container that holds one or more columns. That holds one or more what? Columns. Continuation. So we want to look at what represents, just like what represents the container component, div, right? With a class name what? Container. So let's look at what represents this row, right? It is usually a div element with a class name row. So it is also represented with what? Div element with a class name, row. Are you with me? So if I call a div in my coding environment and I give it a class name row, that is what? That is what? That is the second, that is the row component. Now let's go there now. Inside this first div, remember what we are doing here? BS what? Grid what? Grid system, right? We talk about layout, right? We talk about what? Having boxes, having the main box, another box inside, another box inside, just to enhance what? Responsiveness. So we are still inside what? This first div. Now, inside it, I will simply create another div with the class name row. Dot what? Row. I will expand it. So you can see that what? The first container div is the main box, right? Inside it, you have another box. So inside this box now, that is where you cannot have your content if you like. But we are still coming to that. It's just the layout we are still defining. Now, the next component, which is number three, is column. Let's write column. So what is column as one of the as one of the Bootstrap grid system component? A column is a vertical container. A column is a vertical container that holds contents. A column is a vertical container that holds content. It is usually a div element. So this one too is represented with what? A div. It is usually a div element with a class name called. That is C-O-L. With a class name called. Look at this. Called. Then you write this there. With a class name called, you put asterisk there. Put it this way. Put hyphen and put what? The asterisk. Just write it this way. With a class name called hyphen asterisk. Where the asterisk is the column size. Where the asterisk is the column what? Size. Easy. Call hyphen MD hyphen 4. I need a creative person to tell me what is this. I don't think you know. Let me just explain. This call represents what? A column, right? This MD represents what? Medium device. Are you with me? Medium device is where you have devices that are not as small as what? As phone, but they are not as big as what? Laptop, in between. Are you with me? Like tablets. So if this, look up, I want us to pay attention. If you open this web page or this website on a medium device, it will display what? 4 what? Column. That's what you are saying. So this place that you put 4 can be 2, can be 3, can be 4. If I put 2, it means that what? If I open this grid on a mobile phone, it will display what? How many columns? 4. If I put 3, it will display what? 3. If I put 5, it will display what? 5. So depending on what? So that's why I said that asterisk means what? The what? The number of what? Check your note now. I say where the asterisk is what? Is the column size. How many columns can be displayed in that first container div? So now let's go to our code and implement it. So inside the row, you will now write again dot what? Call, right? Dot call and press it this way. Now, this is where you now add your image, all the content you want to display. You add them inside this div. You are not writing any direct content inside row, neither what? Container. It's just for you to obtain the layout, the structure that enhances responsiveness if you are working with Bootstrap. So here now, I will now come here and say what? My IMG. Are you with me? I don't know if you have images in this project. Let me call. There's no image. So I need to go and what? Add image to this project. This BS, please. It's very important so that we can start seeing some of the impacts of this. Now, I think there's one that we added image now. Okay. Just give me a few minutes. Let me see if I can quickly get out some images from somewhere. Okay. So let me add this image. Let me just pick. Just pay attention. Don't do anything yet. I'll go for a commercial break. You do exactly what I've done so far. Just make sure you look. It's very simple. Now I'll go back to my desktop and locate what we are working with, this one or this one. So open it. Unfortunately, there's no image tag, image folder rather. Let me just create one quickly. So let me name it what? IMG. Go in there and paste. All right. Now I go back to my coding page. So now I just want us to see the layout. It is inside the div with what? The class name called what? Called that you are creating your content. So here now, let's say I need an image, and this is the image. Now, I also need an anchor tag, or maybe a p tag, just to describe it, right? No, let me not bring in p tag. Let me bring h1 or h2, just to mention the what? The name of what? That product. Let's say this is what? Laptop. This is laptop. Then I'll bring out what? Let's say p tag to describe it. I can say what? A laptop computer is a personal use computer, just to have. Now, if I go to the front end now, check what you are going to see there. You can see that the image is very big, right? Now, when we say responsiveness, now I want to inspect. Anytime you want to see whether this image is a responsive image, you right-click and go to what? Inspect. So from inspect, you can see that what? The image is not responsive. It's cutting off what? Part of the image. The image is not responsive. Are we following? So now, I will now go to, because we need to start learning how to incorporate AI in whatever we are doing. So now just check now, this is how you are supposed to be working. I want to open a browser and give us some tips. How, just like the way that image is not responsive, let's assume that I want to know how to make that image what? Fit to that screen size. And I don't know the Bootstrap class name to make the image responsive. So let me just go to what? ChatGPT. You must be working with all this now. This is the new era now, AI era. Whatever you are doing, you must enhance your work as a professional with what? This AI tool. So I will now say, ChatGPT, help me. Or I can just say what is the Bootstrap? What is the Bootstrap class name for image responsiveness? So once I click here now, just watch us. So you can see this is what we need to take. Can you see it now? If I add this class now, it will be responsive. So let's quickly take it from here. Go to my coding page where I added that image. I can just come here and say what? Class. Then I'll say what? IMG what? IMG, no, I want to type it manually. IMG hyphen what? Fluid, right? Fluid. Now, remember before, the image was cutting away, right? Now, I want us to right-click again and go back again and check. Now, you can see that the image is fitted now. Before, we were not even seeing it like this. It was too big. We were just seeing only part of this, right? Now, let's inspect. Let's expect, or let's be doing it gradually. Just minimize here and start reducing the page. Start reducing the page. Try to get. Okay, so let's use expect since I'm not able to reduce it gradually. Expect. Can you see that the image is fitting now? No part of the image is cutting now. Any device I use, the image, if I want to check how it's going to display on people that will be using what? iPhone what? 12 Pro. This is how the image will display. Let me check how it's going to display on people that will be using what? Samsung what? Galaxy what? S8. So for every device that you choose, the image is what? Is fitting. That is responsiveness, like that first time that it was cutting. Now, what makes this image responsive now? What made the image responsive? Because we just added what? The Bootstrap what? Class name. Now, this class that you added here now is now drawing the media query written by who? Bootstrap, right? Now, I mentioned something. If I want to work on the width, I will just space here. I will say this image width W-25. That is what? Give me what? 25 what? Percent width. So if I go back to the page now and check, the image will be smaller. Look at it now. It's not smaller. I've not expected to. Before it was 100%. That's why it was what? Covering the entire what? Page. So if I go back now and say, okay, give me what? If I put 100. So W-100 is what? 100%, right? No, you don't need to type it. This is Bootstrap class name now for 100% width. You don't manually before. If you want to get 100% width, what do? You go to your CS and type what? Width. You now say what? 100%. But if you want to achieve that with Bootstrap, just say W-100 what? 100. Now, let's go back now. You see that? It's now what? 100%. So let me try more. If I put 75 here, let's go back there. What do you have? This is what? 75. So this, but that time that we did not put, if you did not put any width, this fluid, this IMG fluid is already programmed on what? 100% by default. So everybody get to display for me quickly. Yeah. Yes, there are other. So anything you don't understand, you consult what? This. You get, from the documentation. If I don't want to go through here, do you know what I will do? I will go to that Bootstrap website. I will search for what? IMG, right? And click. It will bring out all this information. If I don't want to go there, I can use this, what is it called? ChatGPT to be helping me to get the class name. So now, classwork, I want everybody to implement the grid system to where I am now. So just copy the layout like this in your notes. Just write what? Example of Bootstrap grid system. Just open the first div, class it container, open another div, class it what? Row, open another one, class it what? Column, then create image tag, create all this. Then you now close it how many times? 3 closing what? This one is closing what? The first one. You can see the line, right? Why this is closing what? The second one. So let me copy to your notes and go to your system and implement exactly the same thing. I want to see that your image is responsive. Give me this same layout. What is the Bootstrap grid system? Container, div, row, call, right? You must just take note of that format. The first div with the class name called what? Container. The second div inside the first one with the class name was row, right? The third div inside the second div with the class name what? Then followed by your contents, right? Which can be the image. So that is the layout. So this is the layout that supports your website be responsive across what? Different devices. If you don't have this layout, just know that your website may not be fitting to different devices. So now the next topic. Huh? After I will go and touch what you are saying, let me understand the pattern. You want to do what? No, you just space. You just space. Just space. Like that. Look at it. You just space. You not type W. You want to call any other class. Space is the only thing that will not command that. It's space that will be separating them. It's a good question. Now let's move on. So the next topic is Bootstrap column sizes. BS column sizes. Column what? Sizes. Let's write column sizes, which is represented with what? This is how you write it. You put that asterisk. You know, I told you before that word. The asterisk represents what? Example, the asterisk represents what? Size now. Right? So when that you see this asterisk, it's representing what? The column what? Size. And that is what we want to discuss now. So right. Bootstrap provides 5 different column sizes. So there are 5 of them. Bootstrap provides 5 different column sizes. Command, each corresponding to a different screen size. So each one of them corresponds to different screen size. Each corresponding to a different screen size. Each corresponding to a different what? Screen size. So let's look at the example. Each corresponding to what? A different what? Screen size. So let's look at the example. Example number 1, we have extra. We write, extra small, which is represented with SS. We're writing it the way I'm writing it. So the way it is represented, the format in your div, the class name will be call -xs. That place that we have before, call what? MD. And I said that means what? Medium what? Device. Right? So if you define it like this, that what? Call SS. It means you are saying what? Extra what? Small device. Then which resolution will that one give to us? That one is less than 768 PS. Yeah, that is the width. That is the width of the device that is referred to as what? Extra what? Small. Are you following? So what we are saying is that if I come here now, look up. If I come here now, what do you have here? No device. This one is for all device. Where you not put anything hyphen. Now, if I come here now and do something like this, watch out. This is what we are saying now. If I say what? SS, you know what we have said now? This responsiveness is on what? Extra what? Small device. Then if I space now and I say call, or if I space and I say call -MD, you know what that means? For medium what? Device. That means you are programming this div for two different devices responsiveness. So there is a responsiveness configuration for what? For extra small and for what? Medium device. So that's what we are saying. So number two, size is small, and is represented as what? SM, which means what? Small. So the size, add this also. Then the way the class name should be is called -SM, which means that what? Small devices. And the resolution, the device width for this particular one is, it ranges from 768, which is the last one, PS, to 991 PS. So that is the device width that will display this small device, or that falls under the small device. So which means that if I go back to my code, I can also make this to be what? S what? M, right? Which means that what? You are programming this for what? Small what? Device. Okay? Now, I said there are how many of them? 5, right? And we have treated how many now? 2. This is the third one, right? Number 3 is medium. Number 3 is medium size, which is represented as what? MD. Which is represented as what? MD. Then the class name will be called -MD. And then the resolution, the screen size for this will be 992 PS to 1199 PS. Are you with me? Now, the fourth one is large, which is denoted with what? G. So once you see all this code, once I'm done writing all this now, I will take us to the Bootstrap documentation. You'll be seeing all of them. You now understand the reason why we are treating them. LG. Then the class name will be called what? LG. And the resolution, the screen size, will range from 1200 PS to, or 1200 PS to up, or let's say, and up. So of course, the last one, which is the 5th one, so these are the only sizes that we have. The last one is extra large. Extra what? Large. And it is denoted with XL. It is denoted with XL. Then the class name will be called -XL, and the screen size will be 1400 PS and up. So these are the Bootstrap column sizes that we have. So if it is not small, it is not what? Extra small. It is what? Small. If it is not small, it is what? Medium. If it is not medium, it is what? Now let's go to the documentation so that you can just see them, so that you know where I'm getting all this from. Let's click on Bootstrap 5, stay on the screen, and follow what I'm doing. Because normally on your own, you can come here and study them. I want you to look here. Under components, you cannot have grid. You cannot have grid system. Just type what? Grid. So to bring out what? Bootstrap what? Grid what? System. So all the grammar we are blowing, you're going to see them now. So you can see these are the column. This is what? For 3 column, right? If you go down now, this is the code. Look at the structure, what we are doing since. Is it not the container? Is it not the what? The row? Is it not the what? The call? Then inside it, you have those content. How it works. They have explained all this. That's why I told us from last class that once somebody have implement 1 or 2 components, you can come here and always what? Increase your knowledge. Now, those sites that I just mentioned now, look at them here. Can you see them here? How many of them do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6. Now, you can see they are upgrading. So we have what? Extra, just like your singlets. When somebody is, so we have what? Extra large. But in other words, why that material says that we have just 5 of them? Because this extra large is a family of what? Large. Family of what? Extra large. So that is why the major ones are what? These first 5. Now, you see the explanation, the width range. You see the explanation. Now, this is an example. Now, we are going to do something here. Normally, if I want to copy this and start working with them, I can just copy this and then go to my code. So let's take off this for now and paste. So I will now create content. That content inside this column, that is where you are creating your content. Let me create what? That image. I want you to watch me. IMG. Remember, we call the image. Then for the image to be responsive, we add what? Class what? IMG what? IP what? Fluid. So you start knowing all this as we are working with them. Then we added P that time, right? P. Let me just say what? Welcome. Oh, sorry, H1, right? I want to have that same format. H1, which is what? What did I use H1 for? Good, laptop. Laptop. Then P tag to explain something, right? Let's just say Lorem. You should remember this Lorem. Class leader, you should remember this customer. So I want to replicate it. See what I'm doing though. I'm copying only the contents. Copy under each of them, right? This is why you're supposed to have different content under each column. Just to save my time. That's why I'm doing this. So that we cannot be playing with all those different sizes and see their reactions. That is why I'm doing this. If we don't have column with content, sometimes we may not understand what we are saying. Now, if I go back to my front end and check now, you see that what? We have how many columns? They are all 2, right? Now, you can see that what? On this laptop view now, how many columns I'm having per row? Per row, 2, right? 2, right? Now, if you go to your code, let's go and find out why they are 2. Because you use the general one. We just say, well, call. Now, let's say here, we say what? Call hyphen what? MD, right? Are you getting it now? MD, then hyphen 4. You know what that means? on a medium device, how many colon will you have there? 4. I'm giving them different one. So if I come here now, call hyphen, let me just call it, and make here what? 3. I'm just playing with those sizes so you see how they can behave differently. So here I do hyphen again. So here I am putting what? A 4 or 2 rather. Now, remember how it was displayed. Let's go back now and see whether we'll start seeing different. Can you see difference now? Can you see it now? Now let's check how it's going to display on a mobile side. So if I inspect now, you see that what on mobile, all of them are displayed good. On mobile, this one, this is where I say 4, right? 1 per what? Per row, right? Now where we put, there's a place I put 2, right? I put 2 because of the size of that 2. That's why I'm going to want to show 2. Now, this is what we are saying now. Look at it here. This is the one that is displaying what? 2, 2. So you can manipulate all this. You can have multiple of them. You can decide to use just call. If you use just that, just call is 100%, which is what? The default. Oh yeah, let's quickly play with this. Let's do what I did now. Go to your Bootstrap documentation. Then let's start shuffling some devices and see whether the reaction will be the same. Yes, yes. So let me change this one that I put to 4. Check again. I'm going to make all of them. This one I gave 3, 4, so I can have equal. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. All true. This one I did not give anything there. The one showing 2. 4. So let's go and check again and see. You can see that what? We are having this. So let me check again. This is 4. 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 So let me do 3, 3. Meanwhile, you can be doing your own, just right to, but you can still look at what I'm doing. So if I want that to be equal, let me check 2. And then let me change here to SL. Change here to SM. Medium device. Okay, so I have different. Good. You can see, immediately I put different devices. You see that what? The appearance change. For all of them, if you go to, you can see that this display is not good on laptop, but it's good on what? On phone. So that's why we say what? Mobile what? First. So I can decide to use just what? Call. And just say what? Call 4. I'm not specifying whether what is medium what device now. 4. There is one that I've not changed. 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay. Yeah, this one. 4. Okay, so they are now having what? Equal what? Size. Now, if I want them to be distributed the way it was shown, I prefer that 2-2, right? Prefer that 2-2. So what you do, just use ordinary words, call. Don't specify call, except you say call 1 or call 2. No, you can't, if you not put those things, it might be displaying well on the laptop, but when they use that device to open it, that is where the impact will be obvious. So even though it's not displaying well, just add it, because on that device, it will display well. But I just want to achieve this. I just want this one. I prefer this one. The first two. The first row is what? 2. Then the second row, I have what? 3. So if I continue now, I'll be having what? Like that. It's a format. And if you check your code that is giving you that option, you can see it. I use what? Call, which is a default. Yes? Your question?
I said, Bootstrap image tag provides various classes to control image sizes. So let me use my code here. Please, let's make clear all this so that let's pay attention. Where is the container? Oh, I not select from the right place. Bootstrap comments. Bootstrap image what? Tag. So anytime you are working with image tag, for example, img, let me call an image. Pay attention. You are not expected to be working with me. If not, I will just stop here. So this is an image. So anytime when you start putting your project together, anywhere you use an image and you want to style it with Bootstrap, there are what? Classes you need to use. Just like the way we just learned that grid system with various what? Classes, container, row, column. So if you are dealing with an image, there are classes you need to use. And that is what I want us to understand here. So I said there are what? Various what? Image classes.
So example.
So you start writing them in your notes. We'll be using them. So if I come here, we have what? Class. Remember that the default one that makes it responsive is what? IMG. That is the base one before we start looking at the one for sizing. IMG what? Fluid. So I will space again. So if I say W, so just be writing them in your notes because I've already, these are the what? Remember where I stopped. I say what? Bootstrap provide various what? Classes to control what?
To control what? Image what? Sizing, right? Such as, you'll be writing them as I'm listing them. Such as W-25. Your notes, you write which represents W-25, which represents what? Image width to be what? Image width to be 25 what? Percent, right? That is what, once you say W25, you are not adding the percentage sign. Just like this, it means that that image will be sized towards 25. So let's be checking it. So this is 25 width of that image. So the next one is W-50, which represents, you're writing them 50, which represents what? 50% image width. So let me also check the front end. You see that what? It has increased, right? Now, we are still going. The next one is 75. So if I put 75 here, I put 75, and then here become what? 75. So that represents what? Image with what percentage? 70 what? 5. Hope you are writing, copying them. So let's go and check. This is 75, right? So the last one is 100. If I put 100, that is equivalent to what? 100%. So let's go and check again. So you see it's now 100. So we also have another one which is called auto. So if I put just auto here, if I say W, I feel what? Auto, that is to display its what? Auto. Look at this. Auto will it will be adjusting to the size by itself. Any screen that you open it with, it will be what? Automatically what? Fitting the entire screen. So which is a kind of 100% to every device you display this particular image on. So let's look at what? Height sizes. All these ones that I mentioned, they are under what? Width what? Sizes. Are we communicating? Height, that is what? BS, image, height, sizes. So how do you style the size? So for height, this place that you are putting W will just be what? H hyphen what? The same thing again. H25 will be what? Height. 25% what? Width. Sorry, height, right? So it's not, this is the only place that will be changing. So you also have what? H what? 50, H75, H what? Are we communicating? So that is how to control the height. So let me just list them here. We have H-25, comma, we have H-50, we have, comma, H-what, 75, comma, we have H what, what, 100. Then we also have what? The auto, H. So in case you are working with image height, these are the classes you can use. Auto, just like the way we did it. All right. Now, but if I want to make the picture a perfect cycle, which we normally achieve with what? Border what? Radius, 50%. You should remember to make it a cycle. So there's a class name for it here. There's a class name. So you can use rounded IMG. So if I go and check now, let's see whether we have achieved it. So let me bring it to, okay, this is auto, right? So let me put it 50 so that we can see it, so I will know whether we have actually. So it has not, but depending on what the image, depending on the version of the Bootstrap you are using, this particular class I use now work if you are working with a particular class, sorry, particular version. So let me check another one. Image, sorry, rounded hyphen cycle. If it doesn't work, we'll go and consult ChatGPT for Bootstrap 5.0. So let's quickly go there and find out the latest one. This was the place where I work. Bootstrap image. Rounded class. So we have it here. Can you see now? Is what? Rounded, not just what? Not rounded image. So let's just go back there now and try this option. Just what? Rounded. Let's check. Here is that place we put a. So rounded. It's not. Let's check again. Or let's go to the documentation. We'll get it faster there. Where's the documentation? Just come here and say what? Bootstrap what? Just say IMG. IMG. So this is the fastest way of getting it. So just keep going in. You see where it should be highlighting them. Is it an image at all? So this is card now. I mean, the image did not show. Let's say what? IMG. Okay, this one is for cards. IMG. Okay. So let's check here. We will see something like rounded as we are going. Have you seen it? Where is it? Oh. So we got it, but since it's not working, let's add, maybe seeing it as an inline of element. Let's add this D block to make it a block element. You just add this one. So let's see whether this will make it rounded. So be trying it on your own because this is supposed to have worked. Let me check. Let me remove this. D block. It will not be responsive. Okay, sorry, I've removed the default one. Let's go back to documentation. Don't worry. I'll just copy this one. Don't worry, I want to know where is that place they use rounded? Yeah, right? Where did they use rounded? No, this one is to move it to the right-hand side. So it's the floating. But the rounded here, you can see that what? Is cycle. Maybe it's working, but what we need is cycle. Let's check. No, rounded there. You have to be rounded cycle. Let's go and add rounded cycle. But I put cycle the other time. Let's see if because of the D block that was not there before. Let's see, rounded cycle. Perfect. Rounded cycle. That rounded is just to give you maybe 8% border radius. Rounded cycle. So take note of it. Write it. So that is why I said when some of these classes are not responding, you consult the library. Now, let me remove that D block because I know I put that rounded cycle before, right? So that anytime you are putting it and it's not working, you change the element from inline towards block elements. That is why I added that D block. Let me check. Okay, it worked without what? The D block. So that brings us to the end of today's class. So we have covered grid system and the Bootstrap what? Images. We still have 2 to 3 classes in Bootstrap because we are going to be picking them one after the other. The next class now will be Bootstrap navigation bar, Bootstrap card, Bootstrap form, Bootstrap table, all those things that you design manually. We design form, we design table, right? And we have their Bootstrap what version. So I will just walk us through those ones that are what we can cover. Actually, we can cover 2 in the class. Because the reason why we spend this much time because of the grid system. This is the first time you are learning all those size and all of that. So the entire class is joining on Monday. So when you come on Friday, we'll continue from where we stop. What I'm going to do is that we will take what? Bootstrap what? Navigation bar. And Bootstrap navigation bar so that you can start working on your projects. So what I will do, the remaining class, I can schedule it one evening. I can schedule it online with you guys so that you can follow others from their back-end class. They also finish it up. So you have like 2 to 3 classes to get to where they are in Bootstrap, to finish up Bootstrap. But those classes does not in any way affect the back-end class. Because back-end is PHP, is another language entirely. We start with introduction, the way we started with JavaScript, where you're learning data type, you understand? So before we get to where we will start applying it, we must have what? Finish all this. Is it clear to us? So don't just try, just play with, give me that rounded image in the class here before you leave.